Konnichiwa, good afternoon. Michelle here with kind of a sensitive topic today, but I don't care. I'm going to talk about it anyway because I really believe that people can get value from this. So I'm going to delve into sensitive waters. And the question that I'm going to ask, I'm going to give you the question. I'm going to tell you the situation that had happened that kind of prompted me to make this video. And then I'm going to give you a little acronym I've made up on how we can all look at tense, difficult situations that we, that are hard to understand and difficult to actually talk about. Okay. The question is, if Black lives matter, why don't blue lives matter? White lives matter, green lives matter, aliens, I don't know, whatever. Why don't other lives matter? Okay. Now, as a Black person, I used to get, I would kind of like well up when people would say, well, why not the other lives? Why don't they matter? And it comes from a place of, of course other lives matter. I mean, give me a break. Of course other lives matter. But the situation that we're dealing with is if you're Black and there has been a systematic, continued mistreatment, I'll just say other people, okay? You have to understand that by having that phrase, by having that movement behind that, it is a way of dealing and expressing and letting people understand we're here, we have a voice, stop the bullshit. Okay? That's Michelle. That's my point on when people say, well, don't other lives matter? Course. Come on, son. Course. But you're not looking at the big picture. Now, let me tell you where I digress. At work, there was a conversation, and this guy, I love this guy. He's funny. He's my coworker, and he's an older gentleman, and he asked the question, which I applaud him for doing this. He said, why don't other lives matter? If Black lives matter, why don't other lives matter? And I might be paraphrasing a little bit. But since it was coming from him, I had that little welling up inside of me I was a little frustrated about, but I wasn't as sensitive because I really believed that he was coming from a place of sincerity, that he was trying to understand, okay? That said, another gentleman in the break room, a Black man, gave an answer, gave his point of view. Very well said. And I think it really helped the white gentleman understand, where the Black Lives Matter, where that comes from. I want to offer you the WOW. Okay, what is the WOW? W.O.W. Now, this is an acronym that I just coined to come up with ways that when we are dealing with strong, differing opinions, when there are topics that are very sensitive that we really don't want to talk about, we want to kind of keep our head in the sand and kind of look the other way, I want to give you the wow that you can apply to situations, and I hope that it can be helpful. Number one, the first W is willing. Are you willing? Whoop, good, bugs. Are you willing to open that door? Are you willing to ask those hard questions? Are you willing to have a discussion of differing opinions? Are you willing? And then the O. The O stands for open. Are you open your heart? Are you open? Your mind? Are you open? Your ears? To actually knowing that, wow, there could be another side to this. Wow, I didn't really understand that. Maybe from my childhood, there were prejudice and things that have, welled up inside me that I didn't even really understand. But now I'm open to seeing the perspective of the differing opinion or the different viewpoint. And then the last W is wisdom. Do you have the wisdom to accept that we all perceive things differently? We all bleed red. Do you have the wisdom to still have a, how should I say this? Do you have the wisdom to take the understanding of the different perceptions and try to make a change, whether it be within you personally? Maybe there's things that you could do. You could maybe take time to learn more about other people's, the viewpoints or what's going on. The wisdom to make a difference. So let me rehash the wow. Number one, are you willing to ask the hard questions? Are you willing to sit across the table from someone and get into sensitive waters to understand? Oh, are you open to learning? Are you open to hearing the different perspective? Are you open to feeling where that emotion and that movement is coming from? And this could apply to various parts of your life. And then the last W is the wisdom. Do you have the wisdom to make a change? Do you have the wisdom to take a stand? Do you have the wisdom to get out of your thoughts or the way that everybody else is doing things, or the way when you grew up, this was the way that things were said? Do you have the wisdom to be different, to be authentic, to make a difference? That said, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Yeah. Power to the people. You want to talk to me about it? Ask. Just ask. Keep your head up.